Hey there. For those of you that are watching right now live, we are actually streaming on in two places. Inside of Stylishly Branding, and I haven't done this in a really long time on my personal profile. But here's the deal. I've got something for you. But if you're watching this on my personal profile, you want to head over to Stylishly Branding right here inside of FB and watch this over there because there's something that I've got for you. So, but I can't give it to you. Drop it inside of my personal profile. All right. So I am curious. Are you typically a goal getter or a goal crusher? Let me know down below. And this is an important question. This is something actually for me. I used to write down goals all the time, and I really didn't, I would either forget about them or I just keep going about my day, right? Especially being in business and a wife, we're constantly doing things. We do one thing, we move on to the next. Sometimes we don't finish the one thing and we're still moving on to the next, and we're trying to multitask and do all these things that I don't know about you, but I will forget about my goals. And things happen, great things happen, and I don't celebrate them and I just keep moving on. But something recently happened to me. And if you've ever done this, I'd love to know. Let me know down below in the chat. So I recently was in a retreat that one of my amazing clients, Jennifer Deep Stratton, had. And she had us literally go through our revenue and sales from the year prior, which that I do all the time, but I don't really take note of it. I don't stop and focus and think, how did these things happen over time? What were the actions that I took that made these things happen? So this got me thinking, I need to come on and talk about this because it's something that I've actually been doing for quite some time. And so what I'm going to share with you today to help you really crush your goals in your business is not what you probably expect to hear. Okay. So if you are brand new to my virtual world, if we're new friends on Facebook, whether on my personal profile or you just found me over on Stylishly Branding. Hello, my name is Gina Tassinelli. I am the creator of Stylishly Branding, which is a small but very fun and fabulous division of our social media marketing agency, Hype Media. And I work with women just like you, just like myself, experts, thought leaders, coaches, consultants, in how to elevate your personal brand, how to develop a personal brand that actually stands out from the clutter so that you can connect authentically with your perfect clients. And so what I'm going to share with you today are simple steps and actionable steps to actually help you hit those awesome goals. So if you are one that writes down your goals, think about your goals in terms of awesome, good, and best. And this is also something that I have to give credit to Jennifer, my client, for really helping me focus on making sure that I write these things down. And then I really think about the steps that I took to get me there. Okay. So Gina, so you have goals written down. Do you have them written down as awesome, great, and good by chance? I'm curious. And if you do, what you want to do is you want to start with your awesome and work backwards. And I will be honest with you, as long as I hit any of those, I'm happy, right? Now, I'm even happier when I actually pay attention to the goal and then I realize that I hit it. So what's happened to me personally over the last, I would say about 10 years now, is that every year from one year to the next, I've grown, and I never thought that I would be in the place that I am today, but it's because of these 7 simple steps that I'm going to share with you that really have allowed that to happen year after year and taken me from being a solopreneur to now a team of 14, which is awesome. It's incredible, and I'm so grateful, and never thought that I would be sitting here actually saying those words. So here's the deal. here's what I'm going to share with you that is not the norm of what you hear when people talk about goals, okay? It all starts with building the business of you. And I'll explain exactly what that means. So, ready for it? It all starts with building the business of you. And what I mean by that is it starts by setting your business up so that you are showing up as the leader in your business, as a brand, not as your logo, not as your website, not as your products, not as the services that you offer, not as your amazing packages and programs and memberships and, you know, leggings and makeup and all of that stuff that I purchase, but it's actually you. And so I finally realized this a few years into my business, into the marketing agency. So this is something that it didn't happen for me right away. And when it finally did, it became such a game changer in my business and also in my life, because obviously you're in business, right? To make money and to grow. And with that, things in your life can change as well. What exactly does this mean? This means that it's time to step out of your comfort zone and it's time to really show up in your business as the leader in your business. And it doesn't matter if you represent a product that somebody else manufactures. If you're in direct sales and you are a consultant or a representative, that is okay. I was one too. Simultaneously, when I started my business, I also represented a direct sales company, a jewelry direct sales company. And however, what I did was I didn't represent so much the jewelry. I represented myself as a brand. So what happened was I knew that there was a missing piece in how I was showing up. And that missing piece was me. I was not showing up. And so I'm so passionate about this because I know what it can do for you and your business. And if I could do it, anybody could do it, because I also had a very hard time coming out of my shell on social media and making things a little more public and not being so private. All the way to the point that last year I co-authored a book and told a part of my story. And so, being vulnerable is something that really helps with this as well. So let's talk about a personal brand. Okay. So what does that mean? So this is something that you may hear all the time. It may sound like it's overplayed, but now more than ever, it is so important for us as entrepreneurs. So a personal brand is all about you. Okay. This is where you are no longer wanting to show up as somebody who is selling your things. Yes, we are in business to sell, right? You do have things to sell. However, you want people to connect with you first so that it makes selling to them much easier. And the only way that they're going to connect with you is by you actually showing up in your business. And that means showing up on social media, showing up as a human, even when you're sending out emails, when you're sending out messages, not spamming people. I can't tell you how many messages I get a day from somebody that I have just accepted their friend request. And the first thing that they do is send me a message telling me that, they're selling this or that, hey, they have this great product for hair, or, hey, I have this program that I see that you're an entrepreneur, and I see that, that maybe you would be a great fit for my program and make your entire year's salary in 1 month or in 90 days. I get those all the time. I'm like, I don't even know who you are. How do you even know that I am not making that in 1 month or 90 days already? Right? So we need to act more human. And that's really the point of all of this. So if there's anything that you get out of these 7 steps that I'm going to share with you, it's all about being yourself and being human and actually showing up and getting out of your way, because we are our biggest critic and we are the one that gets in the way of ourselves the most than anybody else. Okay. All right. So let's go through these steps. All right. So you have a pen and paper. Actually, if you join me over on Stylishly Branding, if you watch this from over there, you're actually going to get today's notes. Okay. So make sure if you want, just hop off of this stream and go over to Stylishly Branding. All right. So before we get into that, I want to share with you also why this is so important. All right. If you just to help you think about showing up as a personal brand and stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit more. Okay. Here's what it's going to do for you. It's going to build credibility and trust. For example, Gina and I, we met online. We are virtual friends. And how did we meet? We met because I was showing up on social media. I was providing value to her, and I connected with her as a real person through Messenger. And now she is one of my clients inside of one of my memberships, and she is rocking it and taking, things that I share with her and actually making things happen. But her and I would not have met if I didn't show up, if I didn't go live on video, if I didn't post valuable content out there that's actually going to help her. We would not have met. I would have just been another name, among the billions of people that are in this world and on this platform. And so it builds credibility and trust. It also helps you get seen as an expert. And your personality is going to shine. It's going to help you attract the right people. You can't possibly be the right person for everybody. There are so many people that do what I do that Gina could go and hang out with and have them mentor her, right? But we clicked. And you're not going to click with every single person. And one thing that I think a lot of entrepreneurs, even myself, I would get really frustrated with is I would post things, but I was posting mainly, my services and links to my website and things like that. And I would say, why isn't anybody buying from me? Why isn't anybody clicking? What am I doing wrong? Am I not good enough? And it's because nobody was getting to know me. Nobody knew who Gina Tassinelli was. They only heard of Hype Media, and who cares about Hype Media? Hype Media is not, the Nikes of this world or some huge national, international ad agency or marketing agency. There is an actual human that runs the business, and that's who people wanted to get to know. And that was missing. So when people can they can see your face, they can hear your voice, they can get your personality, and they click with it, you're going to be attracting the right people that you can work with, that are the right fit for you. It also allows your business to have a relatable face attached to it as well. So, when you see my face on social media and we've been connected for quite some time, you know who I am. If I just throw my logo everywhere or have my logo in my profile picture, people aren't going to know who that is or what that's about, right? So having a face attached to the business is how people are recognizing who I am and what I do. And I will tell you, this is not overnight. So if you're looking for a magic pill, it's just not going to happen. So for those that are telling you, earn your first 100,000 by building a course, that's not how things happen. It's just not real. And it's a process. I wish it happened overnight. That would be awesome, right? We would all be retired, but that's just not reality. So these are the things that I have been doing throughout the last, like I said, probably I would say about 10, 11 years. I've been in business for 14, but this really didn't click for me until I was in it for a few years. And it was tough through those years because I wasn't doing these things. All right. So if you're ready to be a goal crusher, here's some actionable and simple steps that you can take. Number one is really get to know yourself. All about you. It's not just about business, even though you are in business, right? You have goals for your business. You really need to get to know yourself. Maybe it takes having coaches, having therapists. I've had all of them and I still do. And that is okay. So really get to know yourself. There are so many things that happen to us personally in our lives that affect who we are and how we go out about our business, and good or bad. But there are things that you need to learn, and we have to embrace them and use those things because they are part of our story. They are what make us up, make us human, but use those things to share with others, to help others learn from, and to share your experiences and to show that you're human. So really get to know yourself. Okay. So I have some questions here that I want you to ask yourself, or maybe you can have a friend ask you these. Okay. So what are you all about? Include your hobbies, your interests, your desires. How do you envision yourself in 6 months, a year, 10 years from now, 5 years from now? What are you not about? Be very clear about what you're not about, and use adjectives to describe who you are and who you are not. Okay. What are your defining characteristics? So this is great to ask friends or somebody really close to you so that you can also compare their answers to your answers, because our perception is going to be different than theirs, right? If I told you to draw a yellow house, everybody's going to have a different yellow house. It's not all going to be the same. What are your values? What causes and social issues are important to you? Which ones are not important to you too? What's unique about you? And that's going to also help develop like what your value statement is, which I'll talk to you in just a little bit. Okay. What are your goals, short term and long term? What are your strengths? What is something that you do exceptionally well? What do people come to you for? What impact do you want to make in other people's lives and in your life? What's the legacy that you want to leave behind? And think about now all of these questions that you're going to be asking yourself, or maybe some of these also you can have somebody else ask you. These are the beginning steps, the foundational steps to really developing a personal brand that is going to connect with the right people for your business. Okay. So remember that. So this is an exercise and it can get pretty deep. And in fact, this is something that we spend a long time on inside of my group coaching program / marketing collective, because it's not something that you can just do like overnight. I had someone recently that I was on a call with, and she wanted to work with me individually, but just one time. I can't do it. It just doesn't work that way. It's not fair for you because you're going to be left like not knowing what to do after that. And there's still so much work to be done. Right. So this takes time, and these answers to these questions, they're going to change over time as well. With new experiences, new life events that happen, we are constantly evolving. Okay, so number 2 is, this one's really important. And it wasn't until I really got clear on this that things changed for my business. And it's understanding exactly who my audience is and who my audience is not. So I used to, as an agency, I would take on any client, any client that would call a referral that would say, I need a social media expert, I need a social media manager. I would just take them on because I felt like I was in that desperation that I needed the business. I found myself being completely overworked and frustrated because I was working with the wrong people for me. Not to say that they were the wrong clients for somebody else, but for me, they were the wrong clients. And until I got really clear and I took a step and I said, okay, I'm not going to accept just anybody, because I know who is going to be best for me, for my mindset, for my patience, for what it is that, for my own values and for what I do. You have to get very clear on your audience and who you want to focus on. All right. And so if you're stuck, then that's where having a value statement or a unique value proposition statement, it's called a different, different things, is really, really important, because this is something that you're going to want to put on your bio, your about sections, of your profiles, things like that. And it's a very simple statement. Now, you may have different ones depending on who you're speaking to or where this is placed, okay? But it goes something like this. You want to give your name, right? And then you want to say, I work with so-and-so to help them to do blank so that they can blank. Okay, so you want to be very clear. So when I introduced myself earlier, I said, I work with coaches, consultants, thought leaders, experts that are women-led businesses to elevate their personal brand so that they can connect authentically with their perfect clients. It's very focused. So if you're anybody outside of that, you're going to be like, okay, she's not going to work with me. Right now, if you're a referral, things might change, or if you're an agency client, but as a mentor, as a coach, that's exactly who I work with. And so get really clear on who it is that you can work with and who you can help the most. So it's not about, labeling people or being rude. It's just about who you can properly serve the best. Okay, so number 3, and this one was very challenging for me, so I will admit that, but it's tell a story, tell your story. So I've told parts of my story as a human being, as a living person, just last year. And over time, you can tell pieces of your story, right? It's a place where you want to get very vulnerable. You let people in and they actually connect with you on a more human level. There's always going to be, even in business, there is some sort of emotional connection to who you are working with. And that's how people really get to know you, to like you, to trust you, and then to want to buy from you, is when they feel that connection. So you want to tell bits and pieces about yourself and sprinkle that throughout your content, throughout your marketing. If you have an opportunity to write a story, get in a book, do that. By the way, if that is something that interests you, please let me know. Drop the word book down below, because I have something for you that is super exciting that we are going to be working on very soon this year. So tell a story. You want to create that vision for people, right? And that's really going to allow people to, like I said, connect with you on a more emotional level. All right. Number 4 is set boundaries. Draw the line somewhere. So this kind of just went with when I was talking about knowing exactly who your audience is and focusing on them. Draw a line. You can't humanly possible help everybody that you come into contact with. They're just not going to be the right person. And that is okay. Draw the line some more, set boundaries as to who you can work with. And what I've learned from this is that it has opened up space for those that I do have the capacity to work with, by saying no to those that I don't want to work with. And so that's how I see it. The same thing when somebody says flat out no, that they can't work with you or they don't want to work with you. And by the way, I believe a no is when somebody just says no. Okay. If they're saying I don't have the money, if they're saying right now is not the right time, that's not a no. But if somebody gives you that flat out no, or if you believe that they're not the right person for you, it's okay, because now you have more space in your life, in your mind, to then receive those that you can serve the best, right? Okay, number 5, build and find a community. So build a community, first of all, and find a community. So on the build a community side, I have had the opportunity to meet so many amazing women that have become my own clients by building a couple of Facebook communities right here on this platform. And that's a great place to really have more of a space, a safe space where people can interact with you more intimately and really get to know you. Not only does the platform prioritize content from groups, from communities compared to a business page, but it's also so the members are going to see that content more often. But it's just a small space, right? Than feeling like they're just a name. And so build a community and reach out to these people one-on-one. Even if they may not seem to be your ideal client, you don't know who they know. They may be a great referral system for you, right? And the other thing to think about is I've talked to people for years before until they actually became a client, which is okay too. So it's not always the right time for people. So build a community and also find communities to be a part of. There's some really, really great networking groups that are women-led for women entrepreneurs, professional women, locally and also online. Locally, I am part of one that I will admit that since the C word, I haven't been as honed into as I usually was, but I still, every time I go to one of our meetups, it's like no time went by, right? So they have become friends. So if you are looking for a local networking community to be a part of, I will recommend Fem City is my number one choice. Has been so awesome over the last, I think I've been with them for probably about 5 years now. And I've met some really amazing women that have become my clients and are still my clients. And then some that we refer people to and so forth. But you can do the same thing online. So be a part of really strong communities where it's about collaboration and not about, just trying to throw offers and spam people. That to me is really important. Number 6 is be consistent across channels. And I'm not saying that you need to show up on every single channel that's out there, because that can get very overwhelming, especially if you are just really trying to get used to building your business virtually online. But you need to be consistent. People need to consistently see you show up in some form. If you're somebody that goes live once every few months, it's not going to work. People are not going to take you seriously. I've done quite a few calls over the last 2 weeks, and I've been when I do these calls, I review the social media content and people's profiles, and sometimes I'm shocked, when they tell me social media doesn't work to connect with people, right? But I see that they posted like 3 months ago. It's like it doesn't work that way. There is an algorithm, and that's just how it is. You need to deal with it. If you want to use social media as a tool. If you don't, then just don't be on social media. But there's an algorithm, and you have to be in it. You need to connect with people. You need to show up. You need to also engage on other people's content. There's a lot of different strategies and tips that I can give you, but until you actually show up, none of it's going to work, right? So be consistent. Number 7, this is one that as an agency, we are experts in, and that is create valuable content. So it is no more the days of just, posting what you ate and what you drank and going out and constantly posting just to get posts up there, which those are fun posts, absolutely, especially on your personal page. But what is it that you're saying within those posts? Do people really care? Remember, it's not about you. It's about them. So post what's valuable, what's going to help somebody, what's going to take somebody from point A to point B in your content. It is so important. And if that's something that you need help with, then that's something that I can absolutely help you with. In fact, all of these things, and I'll get to that in just a second. But you want to have a content marketing strategy. It needs to be planned out. And remember, people consume in different ways. Some people like to read, some people like to watch, some people like to just listen. So if you are never doing any videos, you're going to miss out on a whole lot of people like myself. because I'm not a reader of a lot of social media stuff. I like to watch people. I like to watch videos and I like to listen. Whereas if you're somebody that only does video and you're not posting any written copy content, then you're going to miss people that like to read and vice versa. And then there's long and short. So there needs to be a nice mix. And you want to think about what is it that's going to help this person? If somebody else were to read this, how would this help them? So ask yourself that question before actually hitting post. If you'd like to see where you are missing, where you have some gaps in your own business, online, virtually, and you want to know how you can connect the dots so that you can finally start to crush your goals, then I encourage you to drop hashtag standout down below, and we will connect via Messenger and schedule a call to get on a call together so I can give you and go through these steps and give you some personalized tips on how you can actually use these. All right. I will see you next Thursday, same time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, stay social and have a fabulous week. Bye, guys.